All right, what up, Blockchain Nation? So, have we come to the end of the road? Is this the end for Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin totally demolished? As of now, Bitcoin has lost 50% of its value. It was trading around $60,000 not too long ago, and now it's flirting around $30,000. I think we can just check this real quick and see what is the official Bitcoin price. Well, at the time I'm recording this, Bitcoin is $30,000. In a day, it's gone up by $1,000. In the past 5 days, it's dropped 11%. In a month, it's lost 27%. In a 6-month average, it's lost 50%. In 6 months, in a year, you can say it's lost about 37%. In the last 6 months, it's lost 53%, which is insane. But if you look at the max of Bitcoin of all time, I mean, it's appreciated by 9,000%, which is insane. But people are from 2018 until today, or 2008 until today. That's a great experiment for Bitcoin, and and look at where it is today. So, but people are not worried about that. People are looking at what the price is now. So the question is, should I panic? Should you scream? Should you sell all your Bitcoin and run for the hills? Well, before you do that, I want to give you my personal opinion. Now, this is just my opinion. I don't give financial advice. Why would you take financial advice from some guy on YouTube? Really, why would you? But here's what I think. I think that this, in my opinion, is not something to worry about too much, because Bitcoin has had 13 major crashes. Now, if you look at this report, which I think is awesome, by Exodus, and they put this together, Crypto News, Exodus Crypto News. Well, anyways, Bitcoin crashes history, and well, why did Bitcoin crash, and why Bitcoin will drop again? Well, you can read this, but just to highlight something that they put together, which is 13. Look at this. 13 historical crashes, horrific crashes. Visualizing this, look at this. This is 2012. It went from $7 to $3.80. 49. It lost 49% of its value in over 16 days. 3 days, it lost 57%, from $16 to $7 for a Bitcoin. This is the most scary. In November 2013, it lost 50% of its value in 1 day. I mean, you can go on and on and look at some of these ones. Now, this one, I remember this one. I'll talk about this one because I experienced this. I got into Bitcoin somewhere around, well, I heard about Bitcoin somewhere around here. Where is it? Okay, it's not showing. 2016. Just 2015 is when I heard about Bitcoin. And I'll talk about my own story. But here, look at this. I experienced this. I lived this. 82% drop. And I'll talk about this. This was insane. I didn't think Bitcoin would recover from this. In fact, there was blood in the water for almost a year, 18 months, where people just ran away from Bitcoin because of this 2017 crash. So if you look at these histories of Bitcoin crashes, you can go through all this. 93% of June 2011, and it talks about some major events that happened that caused this crash. I'll just highlight a few, like in 2012, where Bitcoin's next big crash came a year later in summer 2012, when Bitcoin Savings and Trust, a Ponzi scheme promising large weekly payouts to investors, stopped his payouts. Trendon Shavers, who was the operator, eventually went to jail. Let's look at a very popular one, which is Mt. Gox. 2015, he lost 84% when Mt. Gox, which was a very popular Bitcoin exchange at the time, and when it crashed, it lost 84% in 2013, 2015. Where is that? 2015. Where's that? I think this is, yeah, around here. That's this one. This is the Mt. Gox fiasco. Yeah, it's between here and here, which is just scary. So if you look at all this, it's interesting. So I digress. So something else I want you to look at is this. This is a visual representation. I'll put a link below of this on YouTube. And it's something I watched that I think I'll just put this on 2x speed. It kind of really explains good details how Bitcoin was. So Bitcoin, 2020, Laszlo Haniek agreed to pay 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas, and it was what we called Bitcoin Pizza Day. The price went up, and the price kept on going up as of 2011 when Mt. Gox took a stake on Bitcoin. As you can see, April 2011, the price is steadily going up. It's $14 for a Bitcoin. It takes parity with the US dollar. Altcoins merge. The first alternate cryptocurrencies appear, where you have Ethereum and the rest. People start accepting Bitcoin. It's now $5. It's as of 2012. So companies began to apply to exchange Bitcoins for goods and services. There are companies like Overstock that were accepting Bitcoin. You know, we're having a great time. It was the first halving where the block reward increased. This was around 2013. So miners were getting very excited, but ultimately the price began to tank. It dropped from reaches 200 for the first time, and it has a quick decline. Well, that happened, and then we're going up to 2014, where the price is certain at $700, $600. Then we have scams. The world's largest exchange, Mt. Gox, went offline. The owners of 850,000 bitcoins, we never saw them again. So the people are beginning to get worried. They're the ups and downs. It tanks down to $300 again. Then Microsoft hopped into the scene, and Microsoft begins to accept payments in Bitcoin. We now have the FBI and Ross Ulrich, who is the guy behind Silk Road, who was sentenced to life in prison. And then the price begins to fluctuate, and it's fluctuating around $400. Then we have 500 ATMs. A number of people come out, and we have Bitcoin ATMs. Obviously, that helps the price. The price begins to go up and up. We have the second halvening. The bulk reward went from $25 to $12.50. Price per block is around 2017. Now this was the year it went crazy. In 2017, the price this was what was happening every day. This was just before I got involved in 2015. Look, the price of the 2017, I remember I would refresh my Coinbase account every day, and it was crazy. The price was going up. 2018, it began to show a decline. I'm not sure if this really illustrates what happened between 2017 and 2018, and I'll highlight that. But the price tanked as of 2018, 2019. We had the hash war, which means same mining hardware can be used to generate and hash power on them. I don't want to go into all this. The hash war between BSV and BCH. We had crypto tax. The National Tax Authority of New Zealand and IRS began to tax people on crypto. So as of January 2020, it floated around $7,000. So this is a good illustration of the price of Bitcoin. So what does all this mean? Let me tell you my own personal experience with Bitcoin. So around December of 2015 is when I discovered Bitcoin. For the longest time, prior to that, around 2013, I started investing in gold and silver. I used to buy silver coins. Don't buy them anymore as much as I used to, but I used to invest in gold and silver. So I stumbled on a site called goldsilver.com by Mike Maloney. And he started talking about different ways you could buy gold and silver. And one of the ways he mentioned was buying gold and silver using Bitcoin. I never heard of Bitcoin before, and I brushed it off. This was 2013, 2014. Around 2015, it came up again in a discussion. I was like, what the heck is Bitcoin? So I researched it further, and it was around $700 for a Bitcoin. And I thought, why the heck will I pay $700 from internet magic money? And I brushed it off. Around 2016, it surfaced again, and I said at the end of 2015, it was $700. I was like, I'll buy probably in January if it comes down. It went to $1,000 in January, I think 2016. So it kept on going up. Sometime 2016, it started around maybe $2,000. I can't remember the price around the time I was looking at it, but I brushed it off. Eventually, 2017, I said, let me take this thing more serious because it was now $3,000. And when I had seen it at $700 of 2015. Cut a long story short, in early January 2017, I bought Bitcoin at $3,000. Now this was a 2017 rush that I just explained. The price went from $3,000 to $20,000 as of the end of 2017. It was crazy. That was crazy. And I remember selling all my Bitcoin thinking that there's no way it's going to go further than $20,000. And it didn't. It crashed. It went from $20,000 to $3,000. And it kind of peaked and fluctuated around 3. It went up and down, but it was peaking around in a range of $3,000 for a bit. Then COVID happened. Right before COVID, I remember that was 2020 February or March. It was still close to $3,000 when I looked at it. Between 3 and 5 or something like that. 7 at the most. And then after COVID, baby started rising again. Went up to $60,000 late last year. And here we are at this crash. Look, I've been through this before. So I'm not saying buy, but what I have seen as of 2017 was when the price tanked, people made huge mistakes. People made, They made emotional decisions. And Bitcoin they had invested in, and they had, in some cases, I would suggest you do this, stupid decisions like leveraging their house to borrow and to buy crypto. Price tanked, they lost everything they owned. But if they had just held on, if they had just huddled, and they had waited till 2000 and following year or 2 years later, 2 years is a long time. 2 years is a long time to go through stuff. The price went back up to 20 and ultimately to 60K. So I'm not giving you financial advice, but all I'm trying to say is, look, Bitcoin has to go through this. Bitcoin is like, this is gold is of value because it's tried and tested. It's gone through fire, it's gone through a lot of things, and that's what's refined gold to make gold what it is today. So Bitcoin has to go through this. It has to go through the ups and downs so they can come out, in my opinion, as one of the best stores of value there is out there. So in my opinion, I won't suggest that I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just telling you that this is not new. It's happened over at least 13 times. So it's not new. Last thing I'll say about this is something I saw recently where Coinbase declares, now they didn't declare bankruptcy. They didn't declare bankruptcy, but it was something around Barclays. Yeah. Yes. The crypto exchange based brands admit that some Coinbase's users' crypto assets may lack certain bankruptcy protections. So what this means is Coinbase came out to say that, look, because they're not a bank, if you lose your money in a bank, it's insured by the FDIC. Yeah, I believe so. But when it comes to crypto assets, if you leave all your money on an exchange and that exchange magically disappears and they go bankrupt, it's not insured by the FDIC, and you leave your coins on that exchange, sorry to say this, but you're screwed. That just means that all your crypto is going to disappear as well. So I'm not saying they're going bankrupt, but for them to make a statement like this, that in the event that they do go bankrupt, it's like somebody saying, well, I'm going to watch your kids, but if anything happens to them, you can't hold me responsible, and then you give them to watch your kids anyway. That doesn't make any kind of sense. So in this case, I'm not saying I'm wrong, but if they've made a statement like this, in my opinion, what I would do, if you have a significant amount of money on any exchange, not just Coinbase, or not, and you don't have the private keys, that means you don't own that Bitcoin. Private keys means that if anything happens to your Bitcoin, you can always restore from your private keys. Private keys is a 24-word seed phrase that you can back up, and that you can, no matter what wallet you use, as long as you have that seed phrase, you can back up your crypto, up your assets onto that wallet. If you don't have those private keys, then unfortunately, sorry to tell you that you don't have any Bitcoin, because if something happens like this happens, you could pretty much lose everything that you own. So the last thing I'll say about this, while we go through this crypto winter, I don't know what's going to happen to any company. Coinbase seems like a great company. Binance seems like a great company. All these exchanges seem like great exchanges. But if anything happens, you don't want to be in a situation whereby you lose all of your crypto. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, that's all I have. So I will say that please look for a hardware wallet. LedgerX is a good one. SecuX is a good one. I've done videos on LedgerX and SecuX as well. You can buy anyone of your choice. If you want to buy SecuX, I have a link below where you can get it at a discount. So move all your crypto from an exchange, please, to a cold storage, to a hardware wallet, so that if anything happens, you know that you still own your crypto. Anyways, I think that they say a word is enough for the wise. That's all I have. So I don't think it's the end of Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin has gone through worse, and I'm excited to see how we're going to come out at the end of this. And until next time, like I always say, my wish for you is that you learn more about crypto, because crypto is changing and will change the world. And those who get involved early, in my personal opinion, will greatly impact the future. And if that is you, then let's go change the world.
If you would like to create more awareness for your brand or content, or you would like to earn additional income, register now on www.Kleeki.com. The more you share, the more you earn. Kleeki.